Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and all you freaking nerds. We are Digital Waypoint. That's the third time I've done the intro. Mason, how are you feeling?
I'm glad we got through that one that time.
Yeah, it's about dang time. It is about dang time. Well, my name is Noah, and we're happy that you're listening to our 5th episode.
Yeah.
Mason, we're already on episode 5.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What is that hand motion? Nobody can see that, but I don't know what that is.
I don't know. Today is April 23rd, and let me tell you, if you like that intro music, April 23rd is as good a day as any to listen to my boy, A Cloudy Sky. He is the Rizzle Dizzle. He's on all music streaming platforms, and he actually just, I think he remixed this song. He's been hyping it up on his Instagram, A Cloudy Sky. And it's really freaking good.
Yeah.
He's a good dude, and he makes good music. So go listen to him. Well, as you can probably tell, as you can probably tell from reading the title of this podcast, we're going to talk about a little company known as Projekt Red. Now, I know what you're thinking. Everybody and their mother thinks that they have the hot take. And you're right. Everybody does. But we're going to be one of the first to say, we don't.
I definitely don't.
We do not have the hot take.
No.
I am a massive Projekt Red, even after all of the Cyberpunk brouhaha. I'm in love with the company. I love most of the stuff that they do. Mason, on the other hand, you've never played any of their games, have you?
I have not. I messed around on not The Witcher 3, one of the first two, a long time ago.
Really?
Never really played it. Yeah. Just like picked it up. I don't remember. I must have been at somebody's house, something like that. I'm familiar with the franchise. I like Henry Cavill, so I was really tempted to watch the Netflix show. Didn't do that though. Too much for me.
Yeah.
But
Good
no,
show.
I've never played any of the Projekt Red games. Not enough to really say that I've played them. So
Yeah, I have a lot to say. I have a lot of feelings. I don't have any hot takes, but I have a lot of hot feelings. That sounds weird. I have a lot of feelings. So I think when we're taking a look at the entirety of Projekt Red, and we don't want to just look at Cyberpunk, because everybody and their mother is just looking at Cyberpunk.
right.
We want to look at the whole of the company collectively, and sort of their past, where they are now, and where we think that they're going to end up going. And Projekt Red, man, they had everything going for them. Like in a gaming industry where it felt like it felt and feels like execs and massive corporations are beginning to become way too big for their own good.
Mm-hmm.
With yearly releases or microtransactions. Check out the last episode. It started to feel like companies couldn't make it in this world unless you were Activision, EA, or Ubisoft.
Yeah.
And all three of them were making bad video games.
Yeah. At least during the time of the first Witcher. Now we've got a lot of indie games. Are you talking about like 2007?
More like 2015.
2015. You're talking about like Witcher 3 and all that.
Yeah. The first Witcher, not a lot of people played it.
Yeah.
Didn't look like a fun game.
Mm-hmm.
Witcher 2, fun, horribly slow. But once you got into it was really good.
Yeah.
But, so, yeah, kind of looking at it from a perspective of starting in 2015, where it felt like everything was cut from the same mold.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, definitely, yeah.
It was cut from the entirely same mold, and you just had to pick your favorite slice. So it was like, you want to play FPS? Very few FPSs stray from not only just the Call of Duty control scheme, but also how they're played.
Mm-hmm.
You look at Battlefield.
Yep.
It's different than Call of Duty, but it's basically the same game.
Yeah.
You want to play an RPG, role-playing? With the absolute monumental success of Skyrim every game following tried to emulate their own open world, and they almost all sucked in comparison to Skyrim.
I remember I'd be watching. This was like when I was big into YouTube, and I was like, man, I'd love to be in FaZe and all this stuff. Not Skyrim, Far Cry. All of their ads were like, it's Skyrim with guns.
Yeah,
everything wanted to be Skyrim. So
yeah, Skyrim. I mean, it was massive, but that was basically all role-playing games were following. You wanted to play sort of like an action adventure. You had the Rockstar model, you had Naughty Dog, and you had the degrading Assassin's Creed at the time.
Yeah.
And don't even get me started on anything called Souls-like. Dark Souls. As soon as Dark Souls became like a name brand thing, every game wanted to be Dark Souls.
Yeah.
And so it just felt like there were no like fresh, inspired things. It felt like everything was a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy. And yet out of nowhere comes this little tiny Polish development company based in Warsaw who just blows up and dominates the gaming world with the release of The Witcher 3. Now, The Witcher 3, for basically up until a couple months ago, it was my favorite game. Just a phenomenal game all around.
Thank you, God of War.
God of War is the only one that has an argument. But yeah, The Witcher 3 was huge. It won both Game of the Year and Best Role-Playing Game, and it felt like a breath of fresh air. You could see how much time and effort went into the game, went into the world building, the character building. Everything was meticulously crafted and placed exactly where they wanted it. And The Witcher 3, while it wasn't as, I think, maybe it wasn't like a household name like I feel like Skyrim is, it still had almost the exact same effect of blowing people's minds of like, holy crap, like a world can be this open, this large, this expansive, and yet also not run like dog crap like Skyrim.
Yeah.
Like you can make
That's
the
very
two
true.
of the same things.
Yeah.
And so it was just blowing people's minds with how good this game was. And it felt like almost immediately after the game dropped, they released the teaser trailer. It was a couple years before, but they really started to like point out the fact, hey, there's this new game coming out. Cyberpunk 2077.
Yep.
And so once you saw how cool the teaser trailer looked, I mean, you couldn't help but feel like CD Projekt Red was going to rule the gaming world.
Yeah.
Once that game came out.
Yeah.
And boy, howdy, did they rule something. And that kind of brings us to today.
Yep.
Where the most anticipated game, I can't remember a more anticipated game.
No, I can't at all. No. And it's like you were saying.
2077.
Like you're saying, it's so surprising, and I like it that everybody's most anticipated game is this tiny little company that you consider, like the mom and pop shop of games and things like that. And I think, that's a good thing that we can be in a place where this small Polish company can compete with these massive billion-dollar companies, Activision, Blizzard. I guess Blizzard is Activision, but like Ubisoft and all that, and still win Game of the Year and still have everybody's most anticipated. So Cyberpunk 2077, everybody's most anticipated game.
Yeah, the development started with about 50 people.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, it definitely got bigger.
Yeah.
As I haven't been able to find exactly how many people worked on the game.
Yeah.
But this is not, this is not Activision and like the new Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Where you've got hundreds of people working on this game.
Yeah.
You had probably a couple hundred at the most. You maybe had a little bit over 100, at least on some of the Witcher games, they had no more than 100.
Oh, yeah.
Which is just insane that a company, kind of like you were saying, like it felt like for the first time, like a new game development studio showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Like I felt like we hadn't had a new one in a while, and then all of a sudden it was like CD Projekt Red drops Game of the Year, best role playing game, and in 2014, The Witcher 3 won most anticipated game of the year.
Yeah,
which is insane. For one, I didn't know that was an award. That's a stupid award. That seems entirely like subjective, but I guess all awards are subjective. So it was just nuts, and these lofty goals. And I remember because I was excited for Cyberpunk. Like I said, CD Projekt Red, my favorite gaming company. Witcher 3, my favorite video game. And it was like, man, I cannot wait for this futuristic, bombastic-looking freaking thing.
I want to jump back to, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I think this shocks me. This is an article from 2016. And The Witcher 3 came out in 2015?
I think so.
Yeah,
2015, May 18th.
And Cyberpunk started development in 2016. I'm reading this article, and it says that in 2016, they consisted of 30 developers on May 13th, 2016. They were looking to expand to 100 soon. So as of all of the Witcher games, 30 people worked on these 3 games.
It's insane.
And 30 people started Cyberpunk 2077.
It's insane.
That's smaller than where I work. And I consider where I work a small company. And these people are making games that are chipping away at Activision. That blows my mind.
It truly is insane what they were able to do.
Yeah.
And I feel like you had sort of that feeling of like everybody like, holy crap, these guys, they're good. And they're not like every other game development company, especially around that time. That was 2015 was before the BR rush.
Oh, yeah.
You had everybody making a BR.
Yeah.
But it was right in the heyday of microtransactions and loot boxes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Stuff that we talked about last 2 episodes. You should go listen to those. If you haven't listened to those, you go ahead and stop this episode, go listen to those. You might know what we're talking about. So it was like the game was finished when it came out. I mean, there are always hot fixes that game developers make, yada, yada, yada.
Right, yeah.
But it's finished. There was DLC that it wasn't like, I mean, kind of the scapegoat for all bad DLC is the whole Oblivion horse armor thing. Remember about that? Where
Yes.
it was like $10, you get horse armor.
Yep.
You would pay $15, $20, and you got either a brand new storyline, or in the Blood and Wine one, you had a whole new area, a massive area.
Yeah.
And so it felt like, these people were like actively desiring for this. They wanted Cyberpunk to do well. They wanted CD Projekt to do well, and because of that, there was so much hype.
Yeah.
Like it honestly was insane. As somebody who fully rode the hype train on CD Projekt Red, especially after Witcher 3, I was super excited for Cyberpunk. But I saw when people were like, 2-3 years in advance saying this is going to be the best game of all time.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, there's no way that this game, like there's, no matter how good it is, and it will be good, it's not going to be able to live up to the hype. And then so you have this hype. People are ready for it to crash because they're like, there's no way it's going to be able to live up to it. And then you had the crash, but it wasn't the type of crash you were expecting. The game ran like...
It was literal crashes.
It was literal crashes. It was crashes, seizures. It was refunds.
Yeah.
It's insane. Cyberpunk right now is in such... Cyberpunk and CD Projekt Red are in such a strange area because they were loved so heavily.
Yeah,
and people would would collab with CD Projekt Red for different games and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and always come back with like, these people are the nicest people you're ever gonna meet. And so that's why when everybody hates them now for Cyberpunk, I have a really hard time hating on CD Projekt Red because I just think that they're good people. I don't know them.
Yeah.
I think they're great people.
I get that though. I mean, it's hard to. It's kind of the same way I felt about Hello Games and No Man's Sky. Let me see how big Hello Games is. Hello Games is. They're pretty small too, and they were founded in 2008, so they're about the same age. I can't find how many, but
sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good. I can't find how many developers they have working there, but they're a small studio too.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say 30-ish people, and it's hard to, they released the game way too early. It didn't crash, but it was like there was nothing to do in it.
Yeah.
And there's no
unfinished.
But and we'll get to this later. My opinions on and your opinions on the future of this game and the future of CDPR, but it's hard to look at these small, just step above indie studios.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, when you're looking at them and you're looking at the things that Devolver Digital publishes for these small studios, they're not that much bigger than CDPR. I mean, not that much smaller. CDPR is not that much bigger than these studios, and neither is Hello Games.
Well, it was.
Right.
CDPR is
at the time.
Yeah.
So, but still, when you're looking at, okay, you've got 15 people versus 250 versus Activision that employs tens of thousands.
They don't employ anybody. Hey, you don't have to know what you're doing. They're like, all right, your next Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
But when you're looking at it in that perspective, it's really hard to hold them to the same standard and to say, look, they probably had to get it out. They had contracts, they had funding, they needed to get paid, they needed to get some money. So it's frustrating for people that bought the game, and it's frustrating to come out broken. But at the same time, it's hard. People hold them to a standard of, these AAA massive companies, and I don't think that's fair necessarily,
Yeah, well, I mean, Cyberpunk got delayed so many times.
Yeah.
It got pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. And, they kind of took the same stance that the God of War director is taking.
Yeah.
Where they were like, we're not going to finish it until it's done.
Good old Balrog.
And we talked about it 2 episodes ago. I think that's the right way to do it, even if you piss people off. Yeah. But again, with video games becoming this massive just money grab, it's understandable that game developers are going to start getting a whole lot of pressure from higher ups because all of the backing that they have, all of the funding, that could go away at any given moment if this game doesn't come out.
Yep.
And oh my gosh, man, this game came out. It's kind of like my heart breaks because, like I said, I'm a big CD Projekt fanboy. Man, that game looked bad.
It was bad. It was.
Did I tell you? People were running tests on. Granted, it was year one Xbox Ones. Which, in the grand scheme of things now, are paperweights in terms of the power.
I think that they were. No. The PS4 baseline was stronger than the baseline Xbox One.
So
then the next,
PS4 wasn't stable at 30.
Yeah.
But it could generally run 30.
Yeah.
The baseline Xbox was running it at 22 frames a second. Consistently. That is worse than what the Nintendo 64 ran Ocarina of Time at 24 frames a second.
That's worse than the Switch runs The Witcher.
Which isn't. First of all, I don't know why the Switch is getting all these freaking massive games.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we're gonna
put it looks really bad.
It looks horrible. Yeah. Everything on the Switch looks horrible. Other than Smash.
Other than first party games, Nintendo knows how to play some magic on there. I don't know how, but
no, even friggin' all right, Breath of the Wild, Smash,
Odyssey.
That's it. Everything else looks like dog crap.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
I mean, Animal Crossing looks cutesy, but that's not hard to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I've already talked about freaking Pokemon. Have a conniption. but the game just ran horribly.
Yeah.
It was short.
Yeah.
Like for a 5-year, even though they were hyping it for 3 years before they even started developing it.
Yep.
Like 5 years is a long time to develop at least, a 50-hour campaign. The campaign was like 15, 20 hours.
Yeah.
Which is horrendously slow or fast.
Yeah. That's really short.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And that more than anything would piss me off.
Yeah.
And I haven't played. Neither of us have played Cyberpunk.
No.
I never upgraded my Xbox, so I knew I was just gonna have a nightmare trying to play it.
Yeah.
And then you didn't play it because you can say. I don't know. I don't know.
You're like sitting
I was
there
like waiting for you. I was like, what?
I don't know.
What?
I thought you were gonna finish it.
I could take a swing.
Take a swing.
He didn't care.
Yeah. That's right. That's what I was gonna say. It's not. They're just not my kind of.
Not your cup of tea.
Yeah. So usually I stay away from the pretty explicit games anyway, in general. But it wasn't. I didn't want to get it anyway.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
Like when they come out with a PlayStation 5 or a next gen version, I don't care how bad it is. The game could be still horrendous, and I'll still buy it. I'll still give them my money because they're mom and pop shop. And you gotta support the homies.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't know if you could hear me either. There we go. That's
for
chest
thump.
Yeah, I pour one out, but I don't want to do that.
I could. I got some Woodford Reserve right there. Just pour it in the floor.
What?
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 Woodford Reserve.
What does that mean?
Whiskey?
Oh.
Pour one out.
I was going to do a water bottle.
I mean, I've got actual alcohol right here. Watch.
That's true. You have 3 drinks.
Okay.
Why do you eat so much liquid?
There's a reason we don't live stream this. So people can't judge my fluid intakes. Get back on topic.
All right, sorry. All right. So neither of us have played it.
Yeah.
But I mean, you don't have to spend very long on YouTube. If you look up Cyberpunk, you will see the many sins of this game, and there are many, many sins of this game. People were so pissed off, and there was such an uproar that mom and pop shop does what mom and pop shop kind of do, and they're all nice. And the people at CDPR I've never heard of a company so quickly acknowledging the fact that their game sucks. Usually it takes a couple years, and they're like, okay, all right, fine.
Yeah.
We shat all in your wallet. And that's that.
Yeah.
But they within the first couple of weeks, might have even been like first week or two.
Yeah.
They were like,
really quick.
This game sucks. But even leading up to that point, I don't know if there was some real shady stuff.
Oh, yeah.
People, they let certain people review the game, but they gave them a specific area to play in. It was always on PC, and they weren't allowed to talk about. CDPR gave all of these restrictions.
Yeah.
And even on the PC, on the build that they were playing, in the area that they were playing, there were game reviewers that were like, "Yo, this is spooky."
Yeah.
And then, man, it was scary.
Yeah, it had a bad vibe.
It was bad. I lost my train of thought.
All right, well, I'll just say to put salt on the wound of our poor Polish mom and pop shop. They got their code stolen for Cyberpunk. So I was reading about this today, and I knew they had it stolen. I knew it made the news, but
which is real quick. That's the second time.
Is it really?
They've been hacked. That's the second time.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Happened like mid-teen, 20-teens.
Really?
Yeah.
I always hear like the northern countries have really good cybersecurity. Apparently not.
Not CDPR.
So anyway, just as a recap, it was February 9th of this year that CDPR went public with the news of Cyberpunk 2077's code being stolen. and they released a short statement alongside this horrible ransom note that reads like this. It says, "Hello, CD Projekt," all in caps. Your
Wrong, you are.
Well, it's not even you are. Like, that wouldn't make sense either. But this is like your possessive have been epically pwned. We have dumped full copies of the source codes from your Perforce servers for Cyberpunk, The Witcher 3, Gwent, and unreleased versions of The Witcher 3. We have dumped all your documents and encrypted all of your servers. Imagine coming in Monday and seeing this. Like, imagine. No wonder they called bluff for so long.
God.
I didn't know that it was for all these. I thought it was just Cyberpunk. So it's like, it's their whole stash.
It's the whole thing.
It's horrible. So originally they were calling their bluff, and they weren't. They were like, we're not going to negotiate. This is not real. They still have not officially said what has gone on with this. Okay. But I was reading today, and there's a cybersecurity firm, Kela, Kela. I don't know if it's an acronym or if you say the whole thing, but they confirmed the legitimacy of this online auction with a 0.1 Bitcoin buy-in and the price starting at $1 million. You could then, if you're on there, you could purchase the source code in an eBay. Like, you could buy it now and say, I'll take it now for $7 million, or you could bid in $500,000 increments and say, I'll do 1.5, 2 million, 2.5. So something happened to where somebody paid the full $7 million and it wasn't there yet.
Did they?
Yeah.
I heard that that the people that stole it ended up just selling it for $500,000 because nobody was buying it. Because it's, for one, horribly illegal.
Oh yeah.
Two, even if you just like release it, people can. That's how people mod. Make the best type of mods. That's horribly illegal.
Yeah.
And so like modders were like, I'm not gonna touch up with it. I am not touching that.
Yeah. Well,
I had heard that it was just like they somebody bought it for $500,000 and everyone's like, that's CDPR. They bought it.
According to this, somebody gave the full $7 million because it says the auction was cut short when a satisfactory bid was made. It was supposed to run 28 or 48 hours with a starting of $1 million and a rise increments of 500,000. But this, I don't know. This article could be wrong, but the article says that somebody offered up the $7 million and bought it without it even being on there for 48 hours. Like, it went live and somebody bought it immediately. So it could have been somebody said, okay, we'll give you 5 or we'll give you 5. I don't know. Maybe it was 500,000. But anyway, either way, it was CDPR that bought this. They paid the ransom because it went away so quick that it had to have been them, you know?
Yeah, no, you're right. A bunch of people are saying, Forbes, saying that they did Cyberpunk 2077 actually sell a source code for $7 million. Man, what a freaking situation to be in.
So your game bombs, you don't really sell any. The ones you do sell, you're
That's not true.
That's true. They sold a lot, but they actually didn't refund that many. It's only like 33,000 out of.
Well, so that was actually what I was talking about before, and I lost my train of thought. Like I was saying, I've never heard. We'll get back to the source code thing.
Yeah.
I've never heard of a gaming company, come out and admit that their game is just dog crap as quickly as they did.
Yeah.
I've also never heard of a gaming company giving refunds to console players.
Right. That's a good point.
PC is a little bit different, and you can generally sometimes get refunds.
Well, Steam is pretty good about it anyway. Yeah. PlayStation's not. And obviously,
PlayStation's horrible
because they were like, we're going to give you refunds. And PlayStation's like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You're what?
So CDPR issued a statement, and they said they want to give refunds to the people who bought it and who are unsatisfied. Fantastic optics. It's bad optics, not telling anybody else what you're doing and then offering millions of dollars, basically.
Yeah.
And so they didn't talk to Sony or Xbox on giving refunds. And so there are thousands of issues that come with that.
Yeah.
And so, so like the only people that could actually get refunds are the people that bought the games online through CDPR's store.
Yeah.
And nobody does that. Mm-hmm. Everybody's just going to buy it from the main party.
Yeah.
Which is again, I love them. I love the fact that they did that. You know, they're like, we see that this game sucks, and if you don't even want to play it anymore, you don't want to wait, that's totally fine. We'll give you back your money. Like, but man, it felt like after the game came out, they could not do a singular thing correct.
Yeah.
And since they have not been able to do very much correct.
Yeah.
And so it was like, I think it's adorable. it's adorable
How
that
endearing.
they're like, you know what, Sonny, I'm gonna sit you down real quick. We understand that we didn't meet your expectations, so we want to give you your money back because we think that that's the fair thing to do. And you have freaking like PlayStation and Xbox busting out the door like, ha!
yeah.
So like people were getting more pissed, and I think it was last week we talked about it. Like, people that play games are like really ready to sue very quickly, and so they're gonna get sued if they haven't already been sued for. I don't remember what game it. Fallout 76 Bethesda got sued recently.
Really?
Because Fallout 76 didn't. No, Fallout 4 didn't meet their expectations.
Fallout 4.
Yeah, which admittedly did not meet anybody's expectations.
No.
Not a great game.
No.
But like, Fallout 4 was a hyped game, but CDPR was the hype game.
Yeah.
So there are going to be, hopefully not too many, but I'd imagine a whole lot of lawsuits. Yeah, so like they're doing all this stuff, and then like you said, their source code gets stolen, and somebody that nobody knows who, but we're all pretty sure it's probably CDPR buys back their own source, which again, honestly, I feel like even if they had released it, wouldn't have been the biggest problem.
Yeah. Shoot,
I mean, like,
then they could have some modders come in and help them out.
they could, only I bet they would be arrested before
That's
because
a good point.
it's like, when I'm talking like super illegal, it's like super. I don't know if you know much about it.
No, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I just know because of freaking
horribly illegal.
Nintendo and Sony will get you on anything.
Yeah.
God help you if you take their source code.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you put Mario in a YouTube video? You're going to jail.
That's not source code.
I know that, but like, that's what I'm saying. God help you if you took their source code.
Okay.
I know that's not source code.
I thought you were like, source code, yeah, like put Mario in a YouTube video.
I do know what source code is. I work with it every day. Thank you.
That's true.
No, but I'm just saying, like, a lot of companies, you even put their music, a picture of their IP, they're gonna take you down.
Yeah,
if you take their actual property like this, and then that's why I'm like, help. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, Nintendo has put people and sued people into oblivion for making a fan game, a Mario fan or a Metroid fan game, just for putting Samus little icon and like little avatar. So if you steal actual code they worked on, are you kidding me? So anyway,
yeah. And I mean, the crazy thing is after the game came out, like, people started modding it because people mod everything.
Yeah.
And they started to kind of fix a lot of the problems. And so, like, at a first glance, you're like, oh, shoot, well, maybe we should let the people have the source code.
Yeah.
But then you realize that communism and socialism have failed everywhere they've been attempted. And it's like, yeah, you can go ahead and do that. But then the quick sue hammer, the quick gavel of the judge, the Polish judge. What do you think they're called in Poland? What do you think of Polish? How do you say judge in Polish?
I don't know.
I got you.
All right, go for it. Let's hear it. It's just a Polish judge.
Hang on, I gotta turn it on.
Sędzia.
Sędzia.
All right.
That's freaking cool. Sędzia. The freaking Sędzia's gonna. He's gonna take all your money.
Yeah.
So,
unless you're in China, because I think that your IPs, intellectual properties, don't carry over into China because they're like their own thing, something like that.
Good old Chinese.
Yep.
Sędzia. So yeah, all this to say, this is wow. That's my wife. All this to say, freaking CD Projekt Red was just blowing up. And they, to their credit, they've been trying to fix the game. I know that you and I were talking about beforehand. What was it? Was it that people were saying that, or somebody in the company was saying it? Like, what were you saying about fixing or ditching?
Yeah, I saw today when I was reading about this, there was people writing for PC Gamer and Forbes that both said, actually, this is the guy at Forbes. This is a quote from Paul Tassi. He's a internet news and opinions about video game, television, movies, and the internet.
A simp.
Sure.
I don't know.
Says that he says, quote, it's a bit eyebrow-raising. It's a bit of an eyebrow-raising statement, given that I should probably read the statement from that he's talking about first.
Only the most professional-ism here. Wow, I wasn't even trying to say that incorrectly. Only the most professionalism here at Digital Waypoint.
All right. So, point here is, and I'll come back to this, but I just wanted to, what you were talking about with should they ditch it or not. The point here is, some people have an opinion that they should get Cyberpunk. I can't even talk now. Cyberpunk into a playable state, and then ditch it and move on to The Witcher 4 or whatever else, and go back to something that they can start on square one, because this is too big of a fire. Some people think that they should go the No Man's Sky route, the Battlefront 2, the Fallout 76, and what else did it like this? The Avengers is trying to, but I don't know how well that's going.
Nobody cares.
I don't want to touch that at all. That's
nobody
bad.
cares about that game.
So they're trying to. And then Anthem, like Anthem 2.0 and all that. Sadly, this is a phenomenon that we've got going on now where they release trash and they're like, it's good in 2 years, but
yeah,
you know, it's more forgivable when EA doesn't do it with Battlefront. You're like, what are you doing? You've made sports games for years. Why are you making trash? So anyway,
you can give CD Projekt Red a slack, or give them some slack, because they've only made a handful of games. And
right?
then, EA's made everything under the sun.
This is their fourth game, their fourth real game. Witcher 1, 2, and 3, Cyberpunk.
Well, they helped with. I was seeing that they helped with Saints Row 2, which is really weird.
It is weird, but this is their fourth.
Yeah, this is their fourth.
Like they had Gwent and they had the MMO.
Yeah, which I don't really count. It's not like a traditional home console game.
Yeah, but it's
AAA release.
Yeah. This is their fourth big game project. Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, this is a quote from the CEO. It says he doesn't see an option to shelve Cyberpunk. He says, we are convinced that we can bring the game to such a state that we can be proud of it and therefore successfully sell it for years to come. So he's in this for the long run. He's in this for, where Battlefront 2 came out with its Celebration Edition and it sold a ton. And, it was like their re-release. And you could get it for free if you'd already had it, or get it for half off or something if you already had it. And then you could get it for like $40 if it was your first time. And it was a big deal and people really bought it. Mm-hmm. So anyway, the author at Forbes says it's a bit of an eyebrow-raising statement. Here we go again. I can't talk. Given that obviously you would think that you would want to launch a game in a state you can be proud of, but this kind of extreme end of how many AAA games are built like this, broken at launch, fixed and balanced, and added over time with patches. And then he says, though Cyberpunk has taken that to a new level, which I don't think that's necessarily
I don't
true.
agree with that. Yeah,
I don't think they've taken it to a new level. I think that the Avengers was just as bad. Okay, it didn't crash and stuff like that, but the Avengers had no content. Days Gone had no content. Battlefront sucked. It was pay to win through and through. So I don't think that it took it to a new level. Like, all this game does is it couldn't run on some machines. The other ones were actually built with a bad gameplay model.
Yeah.
Which, in my opinion, releasing something broken because you really got to get it out the door. And I don't know if I can have sympathy for this because I am a software developer and I've been in this situation where you got a deadline and it's like it's rough getting it sometimes in working condition. That to me is more forgivable, like No Man's Sky, where it's just like, we did our best, here's our deadline, we had to release it, than we're going to release this game that legitimately has a bad business model and then blame it on you and then get our feelings hurt when we have to redo it.
Yeah.
They didn't have bad intentions with this. So,
yeah.
And it's not I don't think, and I know you can tell me your opinions too, but I think that they should fix it and do the best that they can with it and get it into a state where people are going to buy it again, just like with Battlefront and just like with No Man's Sky, where they had the whole, like, No Man's Sky is a totally different game than it was 4 years ago. And I don't think it's going to take them 4 years to get this, and it didn't take No Man's Sky either, but I think they should keep working on it.
I think both sides are saying that they should keep working on it. Do you think that they should keep working on it and then ditch it and go to a new thing?
No, I don't
once
think
it's
so.
In a playable? Okay. So you think that they should continue to like build on this game?
I think they have a good thing going if they can get it to a place where it's a good game. I think it's a good idea. People are obviously excited about the theme, and people are obviously excited about the whole create your own character in the open world.
Keanu Reeves.
That's where all their money went.
Freaking weird.
If they can just get it to where it's playable, they can keep adding stuff to it, and people will play it for years. I mean, I get on Twitch or something, and I'll be like, here's a mod of The Witcher 3, and we're going to play through this. And people still love their games. So if they can, I don't think that they should just, okay, here's this, and we fixed it up. We Band-Aided it the best we could. We're going to ditch. Yeah. I don't think they should do that. I think that they should, because they're not EA. This is not one of their games that they release in one of their 7 games of the year. Like, this is their game, and this has their namesake on it,
Yeah.
So I don't think that they should ditch it and run at all.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think looking at it just purely from like a PR.
Yeah.
If people spent as long as they did on Cyberpunk and getting so excited for it, for this game to crash and burn, and then as soon as it does, they spend 8, 9, 10 months.
Yeah.
They get it so that it's playable and not jank, and then they're like, all right, here we go. The Witcher 4.
Yeah.
Like, everybody. I think that, and this kind of gets into sort of looking at the future of CDPR, is like, how do they resurrect themselves?
Yeah.
Because this is a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
And they have not handled things as well as they could have. I think that they've made the biggest effort out of any sort of game company that's made these kind of mistakes that I've ever seen. But maybe I'm just not following it as closely. But
I think that them and Hello Games, but I think that has a lot to do with how big the company is.
Yeah, because they're mom and pop shop.
Yeah. I mean, Hello Games, tiny little place.
Mom and pop shop.
Yeah.
One of those, I'm telling you, that Projekt Red is like Bob's Burgers. If you never seen Bob's Burgers?
No. I know what it is, but I purposely have never watched it.
All right, it's pretty funny.
The only adult animation I've ever watched is Archer.
It's like the I've never seen that.
Okay, well, let's move on.
It's like, they got like the restaurant. It's like a 2-story thing. They got the restaurant on the bottom floor, and then there's steps, and then there's like that's where they live. The family lives.
I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what CDPR is.
They just live in the studio.
The execs made them live in the studio. They were crunching for like 60-hour weeks. So, regardless of that, how does CDPR optics-wise revive themselves? I mean, in terms of gameplay, it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Make a good game.
Yeah.
Make some good games. Fix the game that's already out. But how do you change the perception?
Yeah.
Because I think people had a right to be frustrated.
Yeah,
I don't think
so.
people have the right to view CDPR as the boogeyman that they make, that we agree that EA is.
Yeah.
Or, to an extent that Ubisoft is.
Yeah.
Or what Bethesda has become.
Yeah.
It took excuse me. I mean, you had Skyrim, and like we said, it was monumental success. I remember the release date mostly because it was 11/11/11, but also because I played.
Todd Howard's wish on 11/11/11 was to remake Skyrim for the next 20 years.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate. He's done that, and it's on the Switch. Like, it was a huge game, and everybody was loving it, having tons of fun. And then Fallout 4. And it's not a bad game, but it's not a good game.
Yeah.
And the other Fallouts were good games.
Oh, yeah.
And then, they were kind of seeing that they were starting to, lose face, or, they were starting to fall down a little bit. And I mean, it kind of sucks that Bethesda is basically just optics-wise boiled down to Fallout and Skyrim.
Yeah.
Because they have Doom, they have...
Doom is still good.
Oh my God. Doom Eternal is so freaking good.
Yeah, that's their only franchise right
what's
now.
The one where the Nazis are taking over?
Oh,
Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein. Well, Bethesda has a lot of stuff too. They're doing that new Deathloop game. I think they're just producing it though.
Yeah, but I feel like people went from idolizing Bethesda and what they were as a company to now people are like
CDPR.
Well, even not even looking at CDPR, they went from idolizing Bethesda and what they were as a gaming company to being why did we like Bethesda all that much?
Yeah.
And some of that is legitimate, but then it's also how does CDPR keep that from happening? Because Bethesda is massive.
Yeah.
Bethesda and ZeniMax, I mean, it was Microsoft bought them for
$4 billion, I think.
Billions of dollars. Yeah. You can't do that with CDPR.
I think
they're too small. And so
yeah. I mean, Bethesda, I'm looking right now, has 90 games they've released compared to 4.
Yeah. So it's I think that the biggest way that CDPR starts to just dig themselves out of this hole that they've made, I think they have, like you said, they have to fix the game and they have to keep it alive.
Yeah.
I think, there have been rumors about free DLC. I think if they come out and they charge money for DLCs, regardless of whether or not they should or shouldn't, whatever, people are going to lose their minds.
Yeah.
And that could be I feel like they're already at the point publicly where if they were to say all right, even if it was $10, I feel like that would be it's the final nail in the coffin. Yeah,
I agree. And I agree, sadly, because every free DLC I've ever gotten sucks in comparison to buying it. Pretty much across the board. Back when, or even still today, the DLCs for MMOs, you pay for an MMO monthly, and the DLCs for them you still have to buy. And then I don't play any MMOs, but my brothers are into the Final Fantasy one that's big right now. And all of the ones that I've bought, the ones for Spider-Man recently, have been good. And what has had free DLC? Most free DLC games are shooters, multiplayer games.
You have a GTA Online, GTA and Rockstar. They've always done
free.
There was actually free DLC for The Witcher 3, Skellige's Most Wanted. I don't remember that. I played the crap out of The Witcher 3. I don't remember that at all. But yeah, you generally the free DLC generally doesn't really do it for anybody because
it's free, and they're not there's only so much work they can put into it without charging for something.
Yeah.
All of the Spider-Man DLCs were $10, $20. I think they're 10 or 15. I got them on sale in a pack, but those were all super good, and they were if you did everything in them, 10 hours of gameplay, and then easily worth $15 an add-on to a game you really like. I think another thing too, for one, they're going to have a hard time charging for it, because how are they going to justify this is a actual add-on and then this is what should have been in the game in the first place?
Yeah,
they're at a really tough point right now where they couldn't really justify this should have been done versus this is bonus content, for The Witcher 3, where it was really bonus. You didn't need it. So they're just at a tough spot to ever.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of the anthem right now of CDPR is it is a tough spot. It's that you ever, what's that movie with George Clooney?
There's a lot of them.
Farts.
Is it new?
No.
I have no clue.
basically there's one scene where he like for 2 minutes all George Clooney says is, "Damn, we're in a tight spot," and it's really funny. Bart, what's the name of it? I'm gonna be pissed as soon as you find it.
In a tough spot. Let's see. We're in a tight spot. Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou?
Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yeah, I've never
That's
seen
a good
that.
movie.
My parents like the movie. I've never seen it.
I had to watch it for film. They're in a tight spot, and yeah. So I think that we both agreed like they have to fix it. The DLC, regardless of how much time and effort they put into it, just for face sake, has to be free.
Yeah,
There's
I agree.
no way that they can release this and have it not be free.
Yeah.
Because they already made, CDPR already made their development costs back. So
Did
it's
they?
like,
Okay.
they made it back in December.
Okay.
And that was after PlayStation took it off the stores.
Okay.
So as soon as the next gen release,
yeah, they're gonna make.
they'll make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But they have to make DLCs free. There's no way around it. I think that they have to continuously be updating it.
Yeah.
And being more transparent, because they're really not right now.
Yeah. They're
A lot of the updates and patches and stuff that they're doing, they're fixing the game, but they're not fixing the game.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like it's little small things that definitely are noticeable at times, but you know, it's where we're getting it little by little by little. They need to at least say what the little is.
Yeah.
You can't just say like, okay, you know, you wake up today and you're like, oh, the cars drive smoother. That was one of the big things. Is it felt like they were driving on ice, and they feel a lot more like cars. So
yeah. There I am clearing my throat again. Gosh. So anyway, yeah. So like. In addition to that, not really in addition, but to follow up with that, a lot of the stuff I was reading today is people have an issue, like you said, with the transparency of the whole thing. Mm-hmm. A lot of people feel like they've released their roadmap, but they're like, what? It's really ambiguous. Like, what is your roadmap? You know, these multiplayer games release their roadmap, or they'll be like, even the Avengers or whatever will tell you, you know, Q3 we have this, and Q4 we have this, and you can have this to look forward to, and this and this and this. And everybody feels like for Cyberpunk, it's like they're being really vague. Like, here's a couple things, like here, and people don't really know. It's not enough for people to say, okay, let me wait until June, or let me wait until July, or let me wait until September, and I know that this will be fixed in the game. They're kind of like, it got its first major patch. The article I was reading says late last month. Let me see when this was. Yeah.
Really?
Okay. This article is in April 13th. So yeah, they got their first major patch in March, end of March. And, yeah. So then they feel like that must've been when they released the roadmap, and people just feel like it's not transparent enough. There's not enough communication going on, and it's probably them just scrambling behind the scenes. You know, they don't have enough to really say. They're not on a solid enough workflow to where they can plan out exactly what's going to be fixed, because it's probably just stuff coming down the pipeline to their developers to fix bugs, you know, to where they can't really tell you beforehand.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like even like all the stuff leading up to it, especially like one of the big things when the source code was stolen, the stuff on the servers had people's like identities. Yeah. Like it had addresses, social security numbers. So it was like their workers they had their livelihoods on the line. And so plus like leading up to that, the developers being forced to work these crazy hours. Like very Rockstar Red Dead 2 sort of just like crack the whip type of stuff. And so it's like it's kind of difficult to really be. I don't want to always give CDPR slack, but I'm going to give CDPR some slack. Like, at least the developers. Yeah. I want to give the developers some slack, because it's like, you know, after they've just had the tar beat out of them to get this game out. The game came out, had the tar beat out of them by the fans. like I'm sure that it's probably really difficult to, be on top of all of this. That doesn't give them again, I said it, I'm going to give them slack. I kind of give them slack. I'm going to take it right freaking back. I'm going to pull the rug out. That doesn't give them slack.
Yeah.
They have to fix the game.
Yeah.
Just to keep face. I feel like they have to play into the mom and pop shop.
Mm-hmm.
They have to play into the we're small, but we're personable. I mean, that's the future of advertising and companies, especially with like social media.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
because you can just get destroyed on social media nowadays. With even if you're not a development company, if you're a restaurant, if you're a movie theater, anything, people leave reviews on Yelp or Google and you're done because people take that serious. And now with the increased amount of knowledge that we have with all social media, you're right. It's the key is to communicate well and to really be genuine and make people feel like you're going to make up for it. I think that's what Hello Games did. I think that's what Bungie did with Destiny 2. And I think that they can definitely. Why, you don't agree about Destiny 2?
Wasn't great. Launch wasn't great.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
After
okay.
launch, when Bungie said they were going to fix it, they were good about saying, hey, you've played our games in Halo all these years. We really want to make up for it. And really good at just being genuine about their issues. And I think that's what...
Sorry. I'm looking at you. So I'm looking at Mason.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like dimly lit in this room. And then all of a sudden... your face will like flash like 8 times.
I'm looking.
What are you looking at?
I've
got a seizure. I'm gonna be like Cyberpunk, and give somebody a seizure, but it's you giving me a seizure, and this analogy doesn't work.
I'm looking at I was talking about Hello Games, and I pulled up their website, and they've got a video of No Man's Sky playing on the homepage.
Oh, okay.
So it's like flashing because I'm watching it.
It was a lot of flashing.
Yeah, I'll scroll down so it's static. I forgot what stuff. Oh yeah, Bungie, Destiny. I think that CDPR is on the right track by owning up to it. I think that's the biggest thing you can do.
Yeah.
Because these big companies, the AAA ones, will make trash and burn it and leave you with it. Like the Division 2, Ubisoft, good job. What was that? What was Watch Dogs?
Yeah.
What was Watch Dogs 2? Like what was it?
I heard Watch Dogs 2 was better.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't know anybody even bought that game. I don't know anybody that played it. I don't know anybody
I've seen it on sale a lot, and I've always said like I should play it, but I don't care.
Well,
fuck! I was gonna say something.
Well, point is, I think they're on the right track.
Yeah, they need to play to their strengths.
Yeah,
they seem like a genuine group of people that really do want to make a good game, and they just need to play to that. And I feel like those are the only ways that they can come back from this. Is DLC free, and really own up.
Yep.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think the best example, and you never play sports games, but 2K for NBA 2K, they are the quintessential. They're gonna make a bad game and then tell you that it's your fault.
It's your fault. Yeah. No, I don't play them, and it's partly for that reason, partly because I just don't have any interest in sports. But I know what is going on. I know that they're trash.
I should not have spent $70 on that freaking game. I'm pissed.
You could have played last year's version and had the same game.
No, it's definitely a different version, but it sucks regardless. Okay. Well. Like they both suck in different ways. Just one of them is nicer graphics.
Yeah.
And $10 more.
Yeah.
Not worth that $10.
No, I know. You could have bought. That's why I only buy games that are like Ghost of Tsushima, Final Fantasy VII, God of War, Spider-Man, where I can get a good 70 hours out of these things.
So there are not a lot of ways that I feel like CDPR comes back strong.
Yeah.
I think that they can come back.
I do too.
I don't think that they can. I don't think that they'll ever get out of the shadow of Cyberpunk. And to some extent, I don't know if they should.
Yeah.
Because it really, like, again, even though I love them and I'll cut them slack and I will absolutely give them money to play this freaking game, like, their business practices were shady. The game sucked. Or the development practices were shady.
Mm-hmm.
The game sucked. and they haven't fixed it yet.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that they should be let off the hook because they biffed it up.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it shouldn't come without consequences, but I think that people in general are going too hard on it. So,
yeah. Are you going to buy it when it comes out for next gen?
Maybe, probably not. Maybe.
Man,
I still haven't beaten the Outer Worlds, and I like Obsidian more than CDPR.
Oh.
Yeah.
I got that on Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, like I said, it was it wasn't year one, but it was like the model right after.
Yeah.
Game was fun. Ran like dog crap on my thing. It's like loading times are like 2 minutes long.
Oh, the loading times are awful.
Yeah.
It's fun to play. Like I played on my PS5.
Yeah. It's on sale. I thought about getting it.
If you like Fallout,
yeah,
you'll really like it.
I played it.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
But I don't know how far you got though.
I don't remember.
I'm like 20 hours in or something like that.
I probably put in 15 hours. I didn't get very far.
No, there's a lot to do.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But they made all the good Fallout games.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I know whenever like our first episode, I said no, that was Pokemon. At some point, maybe it was the one we took out. So I'll just embarrass myself by saying that I said it, and it never actually was published. It was one of the ones we scrapped, but I said Obsidian did Knights of the Old Republic, or I said they did Fallout. I can't remember what I said. They did do Fallout. I said something wrong.
They did New Vegas.
Yeah. But
which is a really good game.
I said they did. I think they did do Knights of the Old Republic. Anyway, that game's getting remastered. I don't know if you ever bought it or if you ever played it, but I'm gonna play it.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
When is it coming out?
I don't know. It just got announced that.
You think it'll come out before CDPR fixes Cyberpunk?
No.
Really?
It like literally they were just like, hey,
oh,
this is gonna get remastered. It's not. I don't even know if it's in development yet.
Yeah.
So, do you know The Last of Us is getting remastered? The game is not even 10 years old.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
When it came out like 2013?
Yeah.
That's stupid.
It got remastered in 2015. So it's getting completely remade from the ground up. Its sequel just came out.
Oh
anyway,
God.
This is not on topic.
Games.
I just came to my mind.
Hey,
just thought I'd let you know.
That's what the people are here for, the chit chat.
The chit chat. I
A
know.
little chit-chat.
It's the banter.
That's what keeps this freaking podcast alive. That and this beautiful plastic table.
I thought this was gonna be the outro, and you'd be like that and a cloudy sky, and it was just gonna go, and that was gonna be it. But
hey, but you should listen to my boy Cloudy Sky. He's a dope dude. I wonder what Cloudy Sky thinks of Cyberpunk.
I don't know. Why don't we ask him? Hey, send us a voice chat on.
No. You can if you want. I don't think you need to do that.
Noah's your biggest fan.
I am your biggest fan.
Yeah.
I will buy your shirts. Make some shirts. Well, I don't know if I have much more else
No.
to speak on. I mean, it's pretty like I said, I don't think we have any hot takes. We don't have the take.
I have nothing. I don't even play these games.
It's just
I just riff off of you.
game sucks. Door's stuck. Can't get out. It's just who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen to CDPR?
Yeah.
But hey, you know what we do know is that we're thankful for you for listening to episode 5 of Digital Waypoint Podcast.
That's right.
We are really excited to continue to keep doing this. It's fun, and we hope that you guys are enjoying it. If you guys want to hit us up at any of our socials, you can go to @DigiWaypoint on Twitter, DIGI Waypoint Twitter, and Digital Waypoint on Instagram. If you have any questions you want to talk about, you want to just roast Mason,
it's easy to do.
Please.
Yeah.
It sounds like a great time for all parties involved.
It does, yeah.
And you can roast me, but I'll fire back. I got a cannon for an arm. I bet you I can throw that steak right over that mountain right over there. What's that movie from?
I have no clue. I didn't know what you're talking about.
It's not the exact quote.
Okay.
it's what I remember from Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, I've never seen that either.
I'm not
as cultured.
Yeah. In any case, Mason's not cultured, but we're both happy that you listened to this episode. Like I said, hit us up at our socials.
Also, rate us on whatever you're listening to, because that'll help us get up in
Hit us up at our socials. Rate us. Just talk kind about us.
Yeah. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Digital Waypoint on YouTube. We
Oh,
just
yeah,
started
yeah.
We
we're
just
on
started
YouTube.
uploading.
Yeah.
I just did that this week. I believe all 5 episodes are up there now. I uploaded the 5th one today, so we should have all of them on there.
One.
Oh yeah, I uploaded the 4th one today. Whatever, dude.
It's probably, was it the trailer?
No, it was the 4th one. It was the one that I put up on.
Yeah, this is
everywhere
episode
else.
5.
Yeah. So yeah.
We're going strong. We're doing it. Good.
All right. Yeah,
with
but
that-
really, rate us, subscribe, because that'll help us get up there on the charts. And we could use some more
Yeah,
listeners.
we're going big.
We're going big.
We're going full time.
I'm not here for fun.
We're not, I'm here to take names and talk about video games. And with that being said, thank you guys for listening. And by this point, you understand what time it is. You understand what time it is, Mason?
I understand what time it is.
It's time for the outro music, baby. Woo!